can go ahead and get started. A reminder, no recordings of this with cell phones, and please silence your cell phones or any electronic devices, and give your name and affiliation whenever you ask a question with Mike, please. We're joined by Oklahoma State head coach Kenny Gajewski and players Lexi Kilfoyle, Jillian Poulard, and Caroline Wong. If we can start with an opening statement. Kenny. Hey, good to see you.
It never gets old to walk back into this room, so super thankful to be able to lead these guys here. Three just incredible kids. So I'm excited to just hear them here today. This is about them. This is about the program. It's about the Cowgirl way, and we're excited to put that on display again in front of the whole country again. So we love this group. It's been maybe the most amazing journey I've been on since my first year here in 2016. Have for sure had the most fun I've ever had with this group and just what they bring to the table every single day. So excited to be back and looking forward to tomorrow night. Just wish it wasn't against my best friend.
All right, we'll open up to questions.
Okay, we're done.
Front row left here to Jenny.
Kenny, let's talk about that a little bit. You and Tim go way back. He was saying he was 17. Do you remember when you first crossed paths with him? And you guys, it sounds like, talk all the time. What's the conversation been like as this became a reality?
Yeah, I can probably recall one of the first nights that I got really close to Tim. I probably can't tell you all the details here. That may be, I have to protect him and me as well. But the one thing I can tell you about T-Dub is he's loyal. I mean, he gave me a shot to get back in, and I'm just thankful. I mean, he's just a great friend, and God, I don't want to cry. He's just a good man. He's always shot me straight. And I mean, I miss being around him a lot, to be very honest. So, but it's really cool to be able to showcase his team and our team on this stage, and to be able to do that is just an incredible thing. And just thankful for what the doors that he opened, and I'm thankful to be out of his tree. I mean, it's really cool. It really makes me proud, and I can tell you this: when he texts me, it means a lot. When he calls, it means a lot. So it's really cool.
All right, we're good. Front row right, Robert.
Yeah, Robert Allen, Post Report. Was just going to ask you, do you remember who called who first back in February when you hastily arranged that game down in Florida? And when you talked, was there any doubt it was going to happen?
I'll take the credit. I did. I called. Might as well get some. It's good. I called him. I just said, hey, I know this is probably a long shot. First off, like, the one thing I've learned under him is don't ever play a game after an off day. Like, don't ever play on a Tuesday when Monday is your off day. So I knew when I called him, I was like, he's not going to want to play. I really don't want to play, but we need to both play. They had missed games, so I just reached out and said, hey, it's a long shot, but we're here. We're willing to come do you. And we're both in the same boat. We've both been on an off day, so none of us has an advantage, and I'd love to come play at your place. And he just, like, I knew right away when he texted me back, I probably have it in my phone, but it was like, hey, give me 5. And it was probably for him to kind of go through his mind. He's calculated and smart. And I think he was probably trying to look through it all and go, okay, does this make sense? And he called back and said, let me see what I can do. I think we can. He goes, I want to play. So let me start to run it up the ladder. And within, I don't know, somebody wrote a story at the time on it. It was really good, very detailed on the time frame. But within a few hours, we had a game set. And it's no joke. Trying to get our universities to move is tough at times because you're dealing with not just fans, but people to work and people to get concessions open and all the stuff that goes into it. It's not just playing a game. Then to get umpires is wild. So he made it happen. We tried to do everything that we could to help that, and it was cool.
Second on the left here to Cliff.
Yeah, Cliff Brunt, Associated Press. This is for Lexi. What's been the biggest adjustment you've had to make from being one of the aces to being the ace?
Honestly, I feel like the coaches helped me along the way. Coach G and I kind of had that conversation over the summer where he was like, hey, like, you're going to be our ace this year, and I know you don't want to be called that, but that you don't even have to be called that to be an ace. Like, you just have to go out there and do your job. And I think I don't like the term ace because I know a pitching staff, it takes every single one of us, because that was one of our things this year is we were going to use all of us. And so, I mean, just playing my game and with the support of my teammates and support of the coaches, I think if I put that term beside, I think you naturally fall into that place. So.
Good. Second round on the left here to Scott.
Yeah, Scott Wright with the Oklahoma. I got one for Kenny, and then Jill and Caroline got one for you as well. But Kenny, how's Ivy coming along? You talked about needing to get her some more work in your run up to this. How important is she going to be alongside Lexi this week? And then for the players, what has your experience been? I know you haven't played yet, but just being here, seeing the facility, all those things.
I think Ivy's doing good. We made it a point we practiced just like we practiced the whole year. So we took Sunday off. We had a good practice on Monday. We stayed home an extra day, practiced on Tuesday, had some live situations. Ivy threw a what I would call like a live bullpen, which we haven't been doing the whole last 3 to 4 weeks. Her bullpens have been scarce. We've been trying to just to manage the pain and manage her rib. But we said, hey, we're going to have to go at it now. We're going to have to really go. So Carrie thought she threw extremely well. She had some timing issues a week ago because of not pitching enough. And so if you can imagine, you have a broken rib, and it really doesn't hurt to throw. It hurts to breathe. But then when your timing's off, and Lexi can tell you this, if you ever create the kind of arm speed that these guys do, and then you graze your rib cage with your elbow as you come through, and you have a broken rib, that was starting to happen because her timing was off, just like a hitter's timing could become off. And so I think it led to a little bit of inconsistency against Arizona. I still think she gutted out and got us what we needed to, but I don't think she was anywhere close to what she's been. So I think getting her this extra work again has been really good.
Players.
Can you remind me of the question? I'm sorry. What's your experience here been like so far? Here, oh my God, it has been amazing. And I mean, I think anyone who talks to me, I think I put a lot of emphasis on like, hey man, I'm living the dream. Or like, a lot of times I say I just feel like I'm dreaming even still, because I mean, I come from somewhere that I played for 4 years, and this was only a dream, and it just felt so far out of reach and kind of out of touch. And I mean, for this to be my 5th year and finally being able to actually experience it for myself and not just watch it, it's awesome. And it's everything that I could have imagined.
I definitely feel the same. I talked to Coach G, I think yesterday. He was like, hey, how are you feeling? And I was like, it feels like it's so exciting, but I don't think it's really like set in. Like it almost doesn't feel like it's real yet for me.
All right, we go. Second row on the right.
Parker Jarrow, the O'Collie. Kenny, you've talked about a couple of times now how much fun you've had with this group and said it's some of the most fun you've ever had, but what specifically about this group has made it the most fun you've ever had?
We just have this unique circumstance. We have so many young kids that let's just start out with this. We have so many new people after 4 years of having a lot of the same kids, and And I think like last year it was so awesome. But like all I could think about the whole year was getting those kids back here to try to do what they wanted. And at one point, it didn't look like it was going to happen. I think we lost 11 of 13 late. And we hadn't lost barely at all up to that point. It was wild. And it just, like, getting here was just such a relief. Like, I was just like, I was worn out. And those kids gave us everything that we had every day, right? But I just getting them back was all I could think about and try to work for and stay up at night and think about. And then we start over, in a weird way. And not completely over, but we start over with a lot of new pieces. Talent, great kids, great families, but you just, like, I think I was honest up front. I said, I think we're good enough, we're talented enough to get back to OKC, zero question. I just don't know how we're going to look. I just don't know how we're going to respond. We've got a third baseman who hasn't really played third base in college and barely ever. We've got a shortstop that we moved to shortstop with a week left before the season had started. Has never played shortstop. And we've got a second baseman who all she's done is been waiting for 4 years to come here to play shortstop, and we're moving her to second base. Then we've got a first baseman who's never played first base ever. And now she's playing first. And then Caroline is new, and Jill is new. And I'm like, who are we? Like, I think we're really good, but like, I don't know when we get punched how we're going to respond. And from the first weekend through the second weekend, watching these guys respond was like, oh, we're dang good, fast. And they're so much fun. They've never had a bad day. They just answered the bell. And so I've got a new staff, fairly new staff, really young. They need coaching too. But man, they've been coaching me. And so it's just like all this newness has been fresh. And we probably have the best synergy in this program that we've ever had. And that's no knock on any person, anyone. It's just magical. And I don't know how that happened. I'm feeling like the luckiest guy on earth. I should be doing a Dos Equis commercial right now. I mean, seriously, that's how I feel. And it's just been fun.
Right, we got a front row left, Barry.
Yeah, Barry Trammell of Tulsa World. For Kenny and Lexi, you guys have played, you've been here many years in a row. OU's been here every year. Texas has been here some. This year, though, you're coming off a season in which you whacked them around a little bit. How does that change the dynamic if you meet later in the year? Is your confidence level higher because of that? Or how does it, and the fact that they're on the way out adds to the drama. How do those two factors play into potential meetings in the World Series?
Barry, I don't think it really matters. It's different. It's just, it's a new day and nothing really matters at this point. Like, it's just whoever's next. And I can tell you this, like, this team doesn't fear anyone, so I don't think they're really worried about who's in front of them. However, we respect everyone here in a major way, respect their coaching abilities, we respect the way they do things. So we're just like we've always been, and I know it sounds like coach speak, but I feel like if we play the very best that we can play, I don't think there's anybody here that can play with us, and that's how we feel.
Yeah, from a player's perspective, honestly, I think it does give you a little bit of confidence knowing that we can look back at those games and pull out all the good and try and do that again. I think, like Caroline and I were talking earlier, like we've played, 4 of these teams and we've beaten all of them. So it definitely gives us a boost of confidence just to go out there and know that we can, if we play our best ball, that we can beat them.
All right, we got front row right.
I appreciate the Dos Equis reference because I feel like maybe I won't be struck by lightning when I ask this, but we're all adults here. I'm driving down the road yesterday, and I'm listening to a national sports radio show, and they're reading off the odds to win this in Vegas.
Oh, awesome.
People are betting on softball. We know the popularity of the sport. Does that cross your mind, or does anybody ever – do you know your 2-run favorites in Vegas? Or
oh, jeez.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It was crazy to listen to.
I did not know that. I'm not shocked. I'm not a big bettor, so it doesn't really like interest me a whole lot. But I know that is for a lot of people. I will tell you, I think it's cool as long as these guys are staying away from that kind of stuff. Because what it does is it just going to drive more interest. People are going to be watching, and so it tells you, I think, the trajectory of this sport, the trajectory of the female student athlete. I think I have the best job in the country coaching softball. It's wild that we can be doing this and be in a room like this, and it's just crazy. So I think that our sport is just really growing, and I think you're seeing that and feeling that all over. And whether that's good stuff or bad stuff, that's really not for me to say. As long as our kids are not involved in that kind of stuff, because that's the only negatives I see in that. Or there's no reason to, for these guys to be involved in that kind of stuff, obviously. So I think we have enough problems around.
All right, that'll wrap things up for Oklahoma State. Thanks.
That's fine. Yeah, we'll stay.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
We got other stuff. They'll be back down here.